As part of the trade deal, the PM asked premiers to put U.S. booze back on shelves.
Don't buy it. Let it sit.
Albertans can already buy it, but the stats show many don't. Plus, travel south is something else many Canadians are boycotting.
I'm traveling to the United States for a wedding, but otherwise I would not be.
The incentive some places are offering to lure Canucks.
We would love to see them back in New York City.
And year 36 for the Festival of Pins.
This year we're recognizing the 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Legion.
Hobbyists search these colossal collections to find that one special memento.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We are just over 24 hours away from new 50% tariffs imposed by the U.S. But Canadian and American trade negotiators held extensive talks in Washington again today. While the deal has not yet been finalized, Canada's trade minister says both sides are, quote, very close. CTV senior political correspondent Michael Couture has the latest from Washington.
After returning from Ottawa early this morning, Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Canadian negotiators held their longest session of talks with their American counterparts thus far. How close are we? The meeting lasted 3 hours and included the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, Marc-André Blanchard, while Canada's ambassador to the U.S., Mark Wiseman, was only in there for the first hour of the discussions. LeBlanc said little at the conclusion of the conversation, but he tried to reassure Canadians as the latest deadline is just over 24 hours away.
Canadians expect us to get a deal that's in the economic interest of Canada and Canadian workers. We're very close. We continue to make progress. And we're going to stay here and do the work that's necessary until we get to that point.
The three sources tell CTV News that there are reductions in Section 232 tariffs on the table as part of the agreement, but it's unclear how far those levies would go down. They would affect industries like steel, aluminum, and autos. We're also hearing from the premiers who were briefed by the Prime Minister about the talks. One of the concessions Canada has put on the table is returning American alcohol to store shelves. While many premiers seem supportive, not all are happy with Canada's concessions.
He's confident that they will reach an agreement, and as part of this agreement, he asked all of the provinces, as a sign of good faith, would we put U.S. liquor back on our shelves.
It's unclear if more meetings have been planned for Friday, but as Minister LeBlanc said as he left the meeting, they will continue to have more negotiations until they get a deal that's good for Canadians. Mike Couture, CTV News, Washington.
So, as you just heard there, the PM has asked premiers as a sign of good faith to put U.S. alcohol back on shelves. That's not a problem here in Alberta, as U.S. alcohol has been available for more than a year. But sales are down. Tyson Fedor is outside a liquor store in Mackenzie Town tonight. So, Tyson, will buyers change their habits now and buy American again, do you think?
Well, Tara, it depends on who you ask. Some are adamant they'll continue buying Canadian, but some local business owners believe some will shift back to buying American if it helps Canada finalize that trade deal with the U.S.
Across the country, an American booze ban went into place 18 months ago amid tariff threats from President Donald Trump.
There's no question that for a deal to be done, this has to be given up.
And it appears it will be given up. Canadian premiers say they were directed by Prime Minister Mark Carney to return American alcohol products to store shelves as a sign of good faith, but it does not mean everyone agrees with it.
Leave it there. If we put the booze back on the shelves, don't buy it. Let it sit.
Alberta ended its 3-month pause on U.S. booze in June of last year. But even when liquor stores restocked with American products, not everyone was back buying.
It might pick up marginally. On the one hand, it's easy to put things back on the shelf in other provinces. Are they going to sell the way they did before? And I think that's unlikely.
Andrew Ferguson says U.S. products have been in his store for months. However, trying to sell them.
We're still finding American wines are a bit of a hard sell. I think some people have moved on. I mean, people have looked for alternatives. And I think we've seen a huge increase in people looking at Canadian wines differently that maybe weren't giving them as much attention or time.
Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis says between April 1st, 2024 and the end of March last year, Alberta saw $294 million in wholesale U.S. liquor sales. That number dropped to $201 million the following fiscal year. Between April 1st and the end of July, $75 million of American booze had been sold in 2026.
We sure miss buying like American wine, but we've mostly been buying Canadian now.
As for Americans visiting Calgary, they understand the Canadian sentiment towards some American products.
My Canadian friends and colleagues are not going to go back to purchasing American products. In fact, I can't get any of my Canadian friends to even visit me in the States right now.
There's a dearth of American products on the shelves. I see the signs everywhere to encourage people to buy Canadian products. I think it's understandable, and it's a smart reality that, that it sends a signal.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Canada's push to become an energy superpower has taken some large strides forward this summer, and one East Coast premier says he's eager to get in on the action too. Tim Brooke has more from a Canadian Energy Executive Association event in Banff today. Tim.
This event is a chance for industry leaders to get together, discuss the sector, and maybe even talk about the next step for some big projects. And really, it comes at an interesting time amid a lot of discussions about multiple new pipeline projects and just a broader push to expand Canada's resource development. One of the provinces trying to do just that is Nova Scotia, and so Premier Tim Houston flew in for the event to pitch his plans. He says over the last few days, he's had productive dialogue with Alberta's premier on how the two provinces can help each other. Houston is adamant Nova Scotia expand offshore natural gas and wind projects and has long supported Alberta energy projects.
There's a lot of expertise that exists here in Western Canada, certainly in Alberta. We need some of that expertise too. Nova Scotians, there's a lot of Nova Scotians that are experts in oil and gas. They just don't work in Nova Scotia, right? That's true too. So we want some of those people to bring some of that expertise back as well. But all these things, we can all lift each other up and we can support each other. This is not a competition. We can all support each other, and I think Premier Smith recognizes that. I recognize that, and I think Canadians do too.
Houston also touched briefly on the ongoing trade negotiations between Canada and the United States. He told me after chatting with the PM last night, he's feeling confident that Canada will get the best deal possible under the current circumstances. Again, he stressed it's not a perfect deal, but he believes it's a heck of a lot better than some sort of drawn-out tariff war. Back to you.
Okay, Tim, thank you. New numbers show Canadians are a little more open to traveling to the United States. Data shows the number of tourists heading south increased year over year in June, but it is still way down from 2024. That drop has more major cities making a big effort to entice Canucks to come back. Jordan Canagan reports.
Ask some Canadian jet setters who are heading south.
I'm traveling to the United States for a wedding, but otherwise I would not be.
And the reluctance to travel to American destinations is still present.
I work for a company in Canada, and so I think we should have good relationships, and I'm not particularly excited by what's going on.
Years into a tariff war and with a lagging loonie, overall Canadian travel to the United States has fallen by nearly 25% since 2024.
You know, the U.S. isn't off the market. It's just that people are being more intentional about where they're traveling to.
Some Canadians are again making the choice to return to the U.S. New data from Statistics Canada shows 2.3 million return trips to Canada from the U.S. in June. That's a 5% increase year over year, an increase for the third straight month.
Canada is a very important market for New York City.
The Big Apple is making a big push to try to entice Canadians. Its new Northern Neighbor promotion opened reservations this month. It offers a 30% discount for Canadians at dozens of New York City hotels, restaurants, museums, attractions, even Broadway.
With the headwinds we had going on, we saw that number dropping, and we just wanted to do whatever we could to make it a little bit more encouraging and welcoming for our travelers, because it's just a big market for us.
Although the Canadian tourism rebound is gradual so far, incentives may speed things up.
I think price will always intrigue people. If it's a good deal, people are going to be interested in scooping it because they don't want to miss out.
And Jordan joins us from the airport tonight with more. Jordan, sluggish demand is also impacting the airlines.
Tara, demand has dropped so much that airlines continue to cut service to American destinations. WestJet releasing its winter schedule earlier on this week. It got rid of 10 routes to the United States. Air Canada did similar with a handful of routes last month as well. Now, for those who do want to head south, that New York City discount deal is running now until September 7th. Tara?
Okay, Jordan, thank you. The federal transport regulator has ordered WestJet to get rid of its 300-pound weight limit on power wheelchairs. The Canadian Transportation Agency said the policy effectively bars travelers living with a disability from boarding the carrier's planes. The decision said WestJet should use spreader plates to better distribute the wheelchair's weight in the cargo hold and arrange alternative travel with other airlines until that is possible. The case was brought by former federal Minister of State for Transport, Stephen Fletcher, after he was stopped from flying with his custom wheelchair between Winnipeg and Toronto last year. Well, it's starting to rain in parts of Calgary tonight, but it is really storming elsewhere. So let's bring Danielle in. What have you got your eye on tonight?
Yeah, so it's a severe day in some cases. These storms are bubbling up fast. There's lots of them, and some of them are meeting that severe criteria. So that's that larger size hail, quarter size hail or larger, for example. So you can see this cluster of cells right here. We had a non-severe thunderstorm pop through Calgary, a couple of them anyway, but that is since out of the way. We have the more active weather. Popped out the lightning, but you can see this cell south of Diamond Valley tracking towards High River and potentially Nanton. So heads up if you're High River, between High River and Nanton especially. This one could be packing some decent size hail. So this is a more intense cell. This is wave number 1, and we're clear in Calgary aside from a little bit of rainfall right now, but wave number 2 is likely to arrive closer to 7-8 o'clock. And then we have another weaker wave that should arrive around the midnight hour. So there's the potential for thunderstorms right up until about 1 o'clock in the morning. 22 degrees in the city right now. Again, it's fairly quiet in the city in comparison to what's going on in the south, but we have the potential for thunderstorms right up until 1 a.m. And then tomorrow is clear, it's stable, it's sunny, it's hot, 27 degrees, and with the humidity feeling closer to 30.
A multi-billion-dollar AI data center is the topic of a town hall near Edmonton tonight. It's the second of a series of events being put on by the UCP government to address public concerns about these projects.
I think in the ideal scenario, these town halls would be less town halls and more listening exercises.
Sabrina Parrish is the co-director of the Energy Stories Lab at the University of Calgary. She says people are confused about these projects because of a lack of information and transparency. In Sturgeon County, work has already begun on what will eventually become Meta's first AI data center in Canada. The province says it will be self-sustaining and it will not be a drain on local resources, including water. Parrish says many people now have a hard time believing that, which is why the province should have held these town halls much sooner.
These town halls are overdue. The AI data center strategy was released by the government of Alberta now more than a year and a half ago. And I think that there was really no engagement at the beginning of the process. That's what the government has forgotten about these EIAs and regulatory process. They are about public engagement as much as they are about assessing the economic and environmental viability of a project.
An application to build a natural gas facility to power the proposed massive data center complex in Olds was denied due to its proximity to a residential area.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
The second annual Taste of Asia Festival starts today in downtown Calgary. Calgary's biggest Asian food and culture festival is bringing together over 100 food and vendor stalls representing flavors from across Asia. The 5-day festival will also showcase local artists, cultural performances, and community spirit.
We would like people to know Asian food is not only dumplings or fried rice or fried noodle. We have so many kinds of delicious food.
Today through Saturday, you can experience the festival between 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. and then on Sunday from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. With free admission, food tickets can be purchased at the door. Taste of Asia is happening at Lot 6. That's located at 311 11th Street Southwest. A federal gas tax break is ending soon. It sure helped Canadians through a busy summer driving season. Is there any chance Ottawa will extend it into the fall and winter? And here's another fall expense for many, back to school. We'll show you the tremendous gift for thousands of families in Calgary today. Canadians are being warned to prepare to pay more at the pumps. A gas tax break from the feds is coming to an end at the start of September. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, some believe reduced refinery capacity because of global conflicts will also lead to higher prices here at home.
The break people have had at the pumps over the past few months is coming to an end. The federal excise tax break, introduced in April, is set to expire on September 8th.
Obviously, it helped during the summer driving season, and prices were probably lower than a lot of people expected.
That means an extra 10 cents for gas and 4 cents for diesel. The Canadian Fuel Association says it doesn't mean prices will go up exactly those amounts when it takes effect again, saying a number of factors go into pricing. The former head of the Alberta Petroleum Marketing Commission says global conflicts play a big factor and have led to a shortage of oil supply and refinery capacity.
When refined product prices go up, it translates all over the world, including to our refineries, because we can export refined products. And so we are doing that. The U.S. from the Gulf Coast exports refined products, and that pulls more from Canadian refineries and brings the price up.
The return of the federal gas tax comes around the time industry switches to typically cheaper winter-grade gas, but Richard Masson expects any savings to be short-lived.
The summer-winter switch is probably only a minor contributor for a couple weeks. I think prices are probably headed up.
Rising prices is why the Canadian Taxpayers Federation set up outside the Alberta legislature today.
We want Alberta Premier Danielle Smith to get the message that Albertans need fuel tax relief at the pumps.
Instead of providing tax relief in July, the province introduced a $100 rebate for Albertans.
They tried something. They tried the rebate, but it's just not catching on, I think, the way they wanted it to. Plus, it costs them more in admin. So they should just go back to the drawing board and give us the 13 cents per litre gone for gas and diesel.
The CTF is also urging the feds to extend its tax suspension. A spokesperson from the Federal Finance Department would only say it's monitoring financial pressures on Canadians, which will guide any decisions it makes in the months ahead. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
We reached out to the province to see if there are any plans for more gas tax relief at the provincial level. We're waiting to hear back. Another water main shutdown is coming in September. It will last for less than a week to complete electrical work on a new pumping station. The city says there is currently no shortage of water, but outdoor watering could be restricted during that shutdown. The final work on the feeder main is to happen in October, when there will be about 4 more weeks of water restrictions. The pipe provides 60% of treated water for the 1.6 million residents of Calgary, nearby municipalities, and Tsuut'ina Nation.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in. So you've got your eye on some active weather tonight.
Yeah, especially closer to the Nanton areas where there's a really decent cell happening here, and it's producing some larger size hail. This is one of those days where you really keep your eye on the sky and head on indoors if you see something tracking towards you, because this is 3 waves of it. This is just the first wave we're dealing with right now. And we have the potential of some of these cells to reach the more severe level, and it will happen fast. All right, it's 22 degrees in the city. We got warmer than that today, around 24, 25 throughout the city. But of course, as the rain pushed through, it cooled things down. It's 28 in Lethbridge, 30 in Medicine Hat at the moment. When we look at warnings at this point on the BC side, this is the air quality warning still in place. So poor air quality for many communities on the BC side. And we're looking at ranging from low to moderate. Tomorrow, likely mainly moderate for most communities in southern Alberta. So moderate on that air quality health index. All right, let's talk about active weather. And you can see the severe thunderstorm warning in place close to the Nanton area. And this is the bulk of cells that are happening right now. You can see lots going on all up the mountains. This was supposed to be one of those days where we have a lot of thunderstorm activity. We have the heat, we have the humidity, so many ingredients in place for this kind of active weather. When I pop out the lightning and zoom in, you can see where this cell in the purple is tracking. So likely the worst of it will be south of High River, but High River catching the edge of it. And the worst of it tracking likely just to the north of Nanton, although Nanton could still get some hail from this, and it's right on your doorstep, so heads up. There's also a cell that's tracking towards Vulcan right now. It's not as intense, but it may be producing some pea-size hail at this point. And then there's a weaker cell tracking through the Okotoks area. In Calgary, we're in the clear at this point. We had some weaker thunderstorms, especially in the south end, about an hour ago, but this is just wave number 1. Then we have 2 and 3. So as we get to about 8 o'clock, that's when we look at wave number 2. Most likely, it will track down Highway 2, so Nanton and south towards Lethbridge. Less likely to see it in Calgary. And then as we get to the midnight hour, Calgary up the QE2, down Highway 2, and even towards Lethbridge, even into Medicine Hat. We have the potential of thunderstorms. At midnight, though, less likely that anything will be severe. But at midnight, when you get thunderstorms, you know, that does wake people up. All right, tomorrow, things stabilize. We're looking at mainly sunny skies, 27 degrees, so it's a really nice summer day for tomorrow. There will be a system tracking towards us for the weekend, so we'll likely see a good amount of cloud cover from this at times on Saturday. Saturday night, in the late night hours, we have the potential for thunderstorms, and then we have a decent chance of seeing some thunderstorm activity Sunday afternoon. We're looking at a hot weekend, 29 for Saturday, 27 for Sunday. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast.
Back to school shopping is getting more expensive, putting added pressure on families already watching their budgets. But a group of Calgary volunteers is hoping to change that, filling backpacks with the supplies that students need to start the year ready to learn. Mark Villani reports on a community effort aimed at making sure every child can walk into the class on equal footing.
It's a swarm of volunteers sorting through boxes to fill 2,000 backpacks with binders, notebooks, pencils, and other essential school supplies.
So it ensures that the students are ready to learn on day one. It's one less thing that they need to worry about. They're high quality supplies and they're everything that the teachers and principals have identified that they need when they start school.
It's called the Pack Hope Campaign, organized by Education Matters and the Calgary Board of Education to help families facing financial pressures. 11 local companies and community partners participated in the corporate challenge.
We know costs are rising everywhere for many different things for families. This is one thing when families have to make choices that we can make sure students have.
There are a number of things that have added to the uncertainty of cost.
Uncertainties including conflict in the Middle East and rising gas prices. According to the Retail Council of Canada, the average Canadian family spends around $600 to $750 per student on school supplies when electronics are included. That accounts for roughly $4.5 billion in spending nationwide. A new consumer survey finds that 85% of parents are actively looking for deals. Just 19% of them finished all their shopping in a single trip, and nearly half are using AI-powered shopping tools like ChatGPT to find the best price.
You can upload your school list and ask the agent to try to find you the best price in the market, for each item on the list. People are doing that. That can help you save money.
But events like this help offset that financial burden immediately, ensuring students can be set up for success from the start of the school year.
So they can focus on their learning and not worrying about what's in their desk, in their locker, or their backpack.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Organizers say the average cost of one backpack filled with supplies today is about $50, meaning today's campaign represents roughly $100,000 in supplies. Still to come, a man at the center of a Dutch mystery, maybe a missing Canadian. 3 years later, have investigators finally cracked a strange cold case. And later, Matt Tugboat Wilkinson was playing in Okotoks a few years ago. Now he's pitching in the big leagues. Stay with us. Canadian police are working with European investigators to solve a cold case mystery. They're trying to figure out if a British Columbia man who has been missing for decades is the same man who mysteriously showed up in an Amsterdam hospital without an identity. CTV's Andrew Johnson reports.
This is the man known as Lucky. He spends his days in a nursing home ever since he suffered a stroke on the streets of Amsterdam 3 years ago. He woke up in the hospital diagnosed with aphasia, a language disorder that left him unable to speak. His identity, say Dutch investigators, a mystery.
Geen pasjes, geen niks.
De politie staat voor een raadsel. Hoe achterhaal je de identiteit van iemand die niet kan vertellen wie hij is?
Dutch police went looking for information, people who knew Lucky, and began to piece together his past.
Schat helemaal rijk zijn, maar tegelijkertijd zwieren wij door de straat in Amsterdam.
He was known in the local Buddhist community and regularly frequented a nearby market and restaurants. Lucky was also known by several other names, including Chris the Canadian. Still stumped, Dutch investigators posted the story to social media, and someone online made this connection. Lucky looks a lot like Vancouver missing man John Russell Kenny. He lost contact with his family 33 years ago and would now be 67.
They definitely look similar, but again, 30 years can do a lot to a person.
The Vancouver Police Missing Person Unit is now collaborating with their counterparts in the Netherlands and Interpol.
This is definitely a unique experience, especially it's on the international platform, so we are always excited to help. And if this does in fact be him, would be exciting news.
Vancouver police have provided fingerprints that will now be compared with Lucky's to see if they're a match.
On VPD's cold case website, Kenny is described as someone who suffered from mental health issues and was transient in nature. Dutch police have no idea how he may have managed to live under the radar in Amsterdam for decades. Hopefully, they may have some answers soon. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
A Pokemon card collector in BC says thieves stole thousands of dollars worth of cards from him, but one mistake helped him get them back. Emilio Kean says a potential buyer came to his home, handed him fake cash, and then took off with 3 Pokemon cards worth thousands of dollars. But days later, he spotted those same cards for sale online again, using the same photos from his original listing. So he and a group of friends set up a plan, arranging to meet the people selling the cards, confront them, and then call police.
The mission was hold these guys down until the cops can get there and get my cards back. One of the officers went up to my friend who was holding the one guy down. He's like, get off him. And I say, no, these guys robbed me. I have all the proof right here. I have the certification numbers. These are my cards. I was robbed a few days ago. I show them my cuts, my marks, and they kind of backed off of us and they put those guys in cuffs.
Kean got his cards back. Burnaby RCMP say 2 men were initially arrested and the investigation remains ongoing. Kean hopes his experience serves as a reminder to use caution when buying or selling items online and to meet in a safe public place. U.S. Marshals got more than they bargained for looking for a suspect. A few too many of them piled onto a deck that gave way. No serious injuries, but did they get their man? Pin collecting took hold in our city when we hosted the 1988 Winter Olympics. Events like the Grey Cup and curling bonspiels and the Stampede keep that an active hobby for many ever since. This weekend, the Calgary International Pin Club is hosting its 36th annual Festival of Pins. It's a chance for Calgarians with pins at home to have them evaluated by the experts. Here's Kevin Fleming.
He joined the Calgary International Pin Club in 1995 when he moved to Canada from Europe. Now Cressy has amassed more than 100,000 pins in his collection. He's excited to see what Calgarians will bring to this year's Festival of Pins.
That's the fun of the hobby. And you get a lot of new pins, you get a lot of new friends. So that's what the pins are doing, actually. And that's why it's like a social club in a good sense for us to meet each other, because I'm from BC, I don't live in Calgary. So the thing is that when I meet them, they always have something for me.
The theme for this year's festival is the 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Legion, and the club has created a special pin for the occasion. Doug Wagg's dad was a veteran. He's turned into somewhat of an expert on Legion pins, and Wagg is also the president of the Bowness Legion.
Every Legion will put out something that's totally different, like these the celebrated Lest We Forget, the Remembrance pins. I really like these big ones, especially Remembrance Day, so obviously it's a big deal for all Legions.
John Yamniuk is the president of the club and says the majority of pins are valued at a few dollars. But that price goes up if a collector needs it to complete a set.
Value of pins is dependent on a number of factors. How rare is it, for example? What is the pin composed of? Is it a sterling silver or a gold? How many were created? If it's a limited number, the value goes up. And it's also what it's worth to me as a collector.
Cressy says the festival is about members sharing their passion, but also their knowledge of pins.
I will tell everybody, if you attend the festival, don't be shy, don't be afraid to ask questions, because we know if you are starting pin collecting at the moment, of course you don't know, so we will tell you.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
The Free Festival runs Saturday and Sunday at the Austrian Canadian Cultural Centre. Pin questions, that is the place to go. Those are the experts.
It is. I wonder if we have any really big, important pins just sitting at home that we don't know about.
We should dig around people's desks, drawers, and see. Well, a North Dakota couple has found what they consider to be the best possible retirement job.
Hi, Scout! Good morning, Scout.
So Kim and Brenda Schrader launched Canine Outdoor Adventures this summer. They pick up local pups for daily outings. So Kim used to drive a semi, so he says this is no sweat driving this little bus, and it is way more fun. The dogs obviously know exactly what to do. They run onto the bus, they pick a seat, and then they just enjoy the ride to the dog park.
Oh my gosh, and you have all the happiest little clients in there.
That would be great. I would love that job myself.
Yeah, it's our retirement job.
Here's a good reminder that everyone starts somewhere. Okay, you're looking at Ellie now, ripping over these mountain bike trails. Okay. But she also posted how she started out a couple of summers ago. This is the speed she started at.
That's my speed right there.
I mean, she can do all the jumps and go super fast now, but she was a beginner once. And she said, you know what, like, I'm not embarrassed to post this because everybody needs to know you need time and you need to give yourself some patience and you'll get where you want to be.
I love her. I love when people do that and show what it actually is really like.
She wasn't always this brave and this fast. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Well, anyone who goes into law enforcement is pretty tough, of course. And in this case, it's a good thing. Whoa, U.S. Marshals were trying to serve an arrest warrant when the floor gave way beneath them. The body camera video shows that the second-story deck collapsed under them, sending 9 officers tumbling to the ground. 7 of them were treated in hospital. No serious injuries to report, though. And the man that they were looking for was arrested later that day.
So someone
Well, because then they were mad. They were like, hey, we all got hurt doing this. We're definitely going to look for you now.
We're getting this guy.
Yeah, 100%. The largest retailer in the U.S. posted revenue growth today. Still, Walmart shares dropped sharply in trading. We'll tell you why ahead in our business report.
Your Morning Minute is brought to you by the Canadian Cancer Society CIBC Run for the Cure.
The Canadian Cancer Society CIBC Run for the Cure takes place October 4th in Calgary. Kirsty and Debbie join me now to tell us more about it. Kirsty.
Yeah, last year we raised over $1 million, and this year we're going bigger and better. We have so many exciting things lined up for participants this year, so we're just really excited for people to come out.
And Debbie, you're a breast cancer survivor yourself. Why are events like this so important?
Well, the changes that I've seen since 2007 in breast cancer care is incredible, and it just goes to show that the funds that we raise really fuel the research and the clinical trials that, change the face of what breast cancer treatment looks like.
And really making that difference. Thanks for your time. And of course, if you're interested in signing up and fundraising, you can always visit CIBCRunForTheCure.com. But you can also catch CTV Your Morning Calgary from 6 to 9 on CTV and live on Crave.
Okay, your Skywatch weather camera. In Calgary, we are doing okay. Yes, we had some showers. We had some non-severe thunderstorms, and the sun is peeking through the clouds. It's 22 right now. We did drop pretty quickly as the rain and those weak thunderstorms push through. We may go back up a little bit in temperature before we fully start to cool down for the evening. It's 24 in Banff right now, 22 in Calgary, 25 over in Brooks and Drumheller, and 30 in Medicine Hat. So we certainly have some heat in the southeast corner. When we look at the warnings in place, closer to Nanton in southern Alberta is where we're seeing the strongest cell. There are a couple cells just basically to the west of Red Deer as well, and those are tracking southeast. So we're not done yet for today in southern Alberta. These cells likely will track down, so we have the potential about 8 o'clock of seeing more active weather in Calgary as the second wave, and then by midnight we have another chance for a third wave. All right, so you can see what's happening south of the city right now, and the worst of it is around the Nanton area, and this is producing some larger size hail, reports of larger than quarter size hail, absolutely with this. And this is tracking towards the southeast, so Champion already dealing with a storm now, and then you may be dealing with another one after that. as the one in Nanton tracks towards you as well. For Calgary, we're clearing out, but again, we have waves possible right up until about the midnight hour, 1 a.m. For tomorrow's a stable day, 14 degrees at 8 a.m., then 27 is our high, so it will be a hot day tomorrow with the humidity. It will feel closer to 30. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fix right or it's free.
Canada's trade minister says a deal with the U.S. is very close. Negotiators held extensive talks in Washington today. If there is no agreement, new U.S. tariffs are set to take effect on Saturday. Mark Carney has asked premiers to lift bans on U.S. booze in liquor stores if there is a trade deal. But Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew is reluctant, saying he hopes Canadians still won't buy it. And new data shows Canadians traveling to the United States is up slightly since last year, but it's still far below levels from 2 years ago. A class action lawsuit has been filed in Quebec's Superior Court over bogus cans of maple syrup, which were allegedly diluted with cane sugar. The plaintiff originally filed an application for a class action suit in April, naming the sugar producer Steve Bordeaux. Now, several grocery chains have been named in the lawsuit, including Loblaws, Metro, and Sobeys. The filing claims they betrayed customers' trust. The suit is seeking refunds and $100 in punitive damages per class member. Walmart shares tumbled today after the retailer reported slowing sales. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more.
The stock ended the day down over 9%. Sales were actually up 2.6% for Walmart's latest quarter, but that's far from the 4% sales the giant retailer reported at the start of the year. Walmart's profit was boosted by a tariff refund of $2.9 billion U.S. that it got from Washington. That money is being used to help keep prices low. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 72.50 U.S. West Texas Intermediate up to 87.83 U.S. a barrel. Western Canadian Select is up to 65.83, and the TSX lost 36 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Classic car enthusiasts may want to check out this weekend's Rogers Charity Classic. Until Sunday, these rare and breathtaking mid-century automotive icons will be on display near the 9th hole at Canyon Meadows Golf and Country Club. A vintage 1956 Austin Healey 100M Roadster and a Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing Coupe will be auctioned off for charity this fall. These classic cars, donated by Calgary philanthropist Gary Peddle, who is also a longtime supporter of the Rogers Charity Classic, are expected to fetch upwards of $3.4 million. All proceeds from the auction will support programs at Trellis Society and Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation.
And so these funds will go into affordable housing, try to make sure that we open doors for people in our community, as well as mental health supports, which is where the bridge goes to the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation. This is youth mental health and something we both hold dear.
Dyer says showing off these vintage vehicles at the PGA Tour Champions event is a great way to get the buzz going about the auction, which will go live in October. Beautiful cars. They call him Tugboat. This new Major League Baseball player from Southern Alberta is already pulling in fans. His story is coming up. There is an Edmonton crossover in Germany. The NHL announced a new partnership between the league and football club Bayern Munich. Leon Draisaitl, who is German, and Edmonton soccer product Alphonso Davies, who plays in Germany, shared the stage. The partnership is intended to grow Bayern's presence in Canada and expand the NHL's footprint in Germany. The NHL also says the Oilers will return to Cologne, Germany during the 2027-28 season, nearly 10 years after the team played an exhibition game there.
Well, I really get goosebumps just thinking about it. In 2017, I experienced that when we were playing against Cologne, and that was a really special experience. Those are the things that don't happen every year.
It's a big sport, obviously, where I came from and how I grew up. You know, obviously, Leon playing for Edmonton is something special. Seeing him here, you know, a guy that I watch and cheer for all the time when they play. So it's incredible.
The Boston Bruins will play 2 games in Munich that season as well. This is a dream come true for a pitcher with ties to Southern Alberta. Matt Tugboat Wilkinson was a star with the Okotoks Dogs. Now, 3 years later, he's making his major league debut with the San Francisco Giants. Moses Woldu has more.
setting sail on his big league career.
It was a night Matt Tugboat Wilkinson will never forget, making his major league debut with friends and family in attendance, and against a Cleveland Guardians team that drafted him in 2023.
Family and friends be able to come out, and so can't really complain about that. It's kind of a cool story that I do get to have my debut here after especially being 3 years with them.
In 2015, the BC native made a name for himself at the Little League World Series, striking out 16 batters. But it's his nickname that has brought a lot of attention too, from media outlets down south.
Tugboat's a great nickname. First time I've ever heard that.
It occurred when he was playing T-ball. It didn't move too quick around the bases, and as one of my good friends, Phil McNeil, is the one who gave him the nickname Tugboat, and he go toot-toot goes the tugboat when Matt's running around the bases. It was a comical thing.
He set sail for Okotoks at 15, playing for its academy and eventually the collegiate team.
When he showed up to the academy, the foundation was already in place.
Jeff Duda was Wilkinson's pitching coach.
What makes Tugboat so good is the fact that he throws with such conviction and such belief in every one of his pitches that it takes his stuff to a whole other level.
He became an instant fan favorite, with the Okotoks dogs claiming him as their own.
Just amazing to watch him grow and where he's gotten to, and he's achieved his goals, so it's amazing to see that.
And it shows every offseason when Wilkinson returns to train with the players.
A lot of these kids in the building right now can say that they've thrown with or next to Tugboat.
Huge inspiration. I mean, knowing that hard work pays off, and grinding for it, and eventually the good things will happen.
Wilkinson pitched just 2 innings in his debut, allowing 1 hit and no walks. There will be plenty of opportunities to start with the Giants, who are keeping him for the remainder of the season.
You want him to succeed, and for the most part in Matt's career, he's done very well and succeeded.
Moses Wildu, CTV News, Calgary.
Wilkinson's debut also caught the attention of Wayne Gretzky, who he says called moments after the game and offered his congratulations. That's very cool. Well, you've got your eye on some storms south of the city.
Yeah, let me give you a quick little update here, because the storm that was passing through the Nanton area is now off to the east. Heads up Champion. Champion already dealing with a pretty decent cell, but this is a much stronger one that's on the way to you a little later. Likely you'll see the stronger cell in about half an hour's time. Okay, weather window brought to you by Lux. Oops, we're not on weather window yet. We're on the forecast. What I will say about tomorrow is it's hot and stable, 27 degrees, feeling closer to 30 with the humidity and lots of sunshine. And Saturday looks pretty good, just a little more cloud cover, a high of 29. It's Saturday night that we get into the risk of thunderstorms, especially after 8 p.m. on Saturday night. Okay, now I can say it. Weather window brought to you by Luxa Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And Darren Morrison has the right idea. This is taken in Canmore, rafting. Right? Tomorrow, if it's going to feel like 30 with the humidity, it sounds like a great day to take off of work, head to the mountains, and head down the bow on a raft.
Absolutely. Good way to just sail into the weekend.
Yes.
Thanks for your company tonight. Have a terrific evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.